how far did you guys get with your or how far did you get with your music career before you ran into Suge, which is kind of when you really started to get on a lot of people's radars, correct?
Is this off the camera? Or we can do this on here?
No, you can do it on camera. It's all good. Yeah.
Shout out to Suge, the whole road situation. Prior to that, my experience in music, as far as dealing with people who I once was just, I was not in the game, I used to look at as they were in the game. Right off top, I can remember I had already worked with Sibo, Killer Tay, Yuck Mouth. I was familiar with Dub C, not quite. I had kind of got my foot in the game to that level. I had with, let's see who else. Maybe J.O. Felony, Yuck Mouth. Those are the names that I had recorded with Brother Lynch. And by the time I had actually met Suge.
So just to say that you were definitely do your thing and you definitely had a wave going on, more of an underground level. But underground. People forget too that this is back in those days. It was kind of like if you didn't get a cosign, then motherfuckers. It was like it was hard to be an independent known social media artist. It just didn't happen the way it does now. Yeah.
So for the fact, me being aware of that, for me to be able to work with people like Sibo and Killer Tay, I knew that there was perhaps a future in the game if I could get all the elements put together to get behind me as far as having a machine in motion, which, ironically enough, I've still yet to have accomplished, to have a situation where it's all focused on me, a whole machine, and we pushing. Anything you consider I do now as far as progress or being relevant, it's all an independent, individual push.
Yeah, there's a lot of rappers that I sort of talk to, and I sort of have that realization, like, damn, this dude, if he had been born in the current age where you can just promote yourself on social media, shit might have been a lot different. I was having a conversation with Crooked Eye recently, and I'm realizing Crooked Eye, dope rapper, would have been able to sort of take matters into his own hands if he was a young man right now, but he ended up sort of on the shelf with Death Row for a long time, and, it was out of his hands.
Suge's timing, get him being on Death Row and being the front runner, it just happened to be the wrong time. I got there, happened to be the wrong time. Got the G Unit, happened to be the wrong time. Sometimes I feel like Jonah going back to the Bible. I get the Death Row is the biggest thing in the world. I get there.
What year? What year did you start talking to Suge, and what was that conversation like?
2000. My homeboy Ant, rest in peace, Big Ant from my hood.
The year 2000.
Yes.
Okay.
If I can remember correctly, I paroled in '99. I think Suge got out the pen in 2000.
You did how many years and for what?
I've done a cumulative about 5 years. My first time I went to prison was for strong arm robbery. I did 2 years, about 25 months, and then I got out, stayed out about 6 months, and went back for ex-con possession of a firearm. They gave me 32 months, 80%. I did about 25 more months.
Okay.
And I've never returned back to prison. I paroled in '99 for the last time.
Nice.
Gone back and forth to jail here and there for little warrants and tickets and shit, but I haven't done no real time since then.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I met Suge in about 2000.
When you look back on it, your time spent in prison, did that really help inform your music? Was that something that made your music better, having all that shit to talk about and the shit that you knew about?
I typically realize what I noticed, people like Tupac and other rappers that went to prison, they come out rapping about prison a lot more than I did. Prison was, I don't know, it's kind of like almost a forgotten time in my life. When I bump into somebody, I go live, and every now and then, somebody in the comments will chap up and be like, remember me? We was on this yard. And then they start reminding me of certain incidents, and we get into conversations about it. Other than that, I kind of forget about the whole experience of prison.
I mean, some people go to prison and then they get out and then they're not really doing shit with their lives. So it's kind of like prison was the last time that they really got to be around a bunch of real ass dudes and a lot of drama. And it's like, I see people from high school sometimes and they remember me. And I'm like, damn, I don't remember what the fuck they're talking about. I've done a lot since high school. A lot of people ain't done shit since they got out of prison, right? Yeah.
My brother's doing life. And he's been down since 2005. Shout out Big Spider from the set.
And he probably remembers all these little conversations you have and little things,
vividly,
right? Yeah.
Vividly. And I appreciate it because I would remember a general incident and we'll get discussing it. And then he'll start, you don't remember this happened in the details. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. So that's something to appreciate about hollering at somebody who's spent a lot of time in incarceration.
It's easy to forget how little they got to really focus on.
Yes, and we've got every day, we live enough of a lifetime that'll probably cover for them for a year. Every day we talk to 13, see 1,000 different people if you're on the freeway,
Yeah.
going this story. They don't have none of that.
Yeah.
They world moves so slow.
Yeah, that's facts. It's a lot more like what it was like before we all had little computers in our pockets too, you know?
You keep it in some prison cells where they got Xboxes and PlayStations. I remember being in prison, fantasizing, and I thought it was the most far-fetched thing in the world that wish I could have a video game in here.
Right.
The fact that it's real blows my mind. I thought it was that would never be a possibility.
Right.
I hate to say it with a PlayStation because I could do it. Got a lot of time. Oh, mama, especially if we could get online.
Right.
Play Madden.
That'd be a big problem if they started letting everybody get online, though, huh? That'd be a whole new generation of scamming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just think, people online, I just think they don't think they got a strong enough signal to play no game. Because, people are following right in the pen watching us right now. Like I said, we go live, they tap in all the time.
That shit's crazy. I got a friend who's locked up right now, and he got a phone, and I got his number, and it's just weird because I'll always be texting him, and he'll say some shit that I wish I could like share with the outside world, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to know that he just sent me a picture of this.
Right, yeah. But then you look on the internet, and there's so many people comfortable going live from this cell, and cameras in the day room. It's like, dang, it's off the hook in there.
That's just
crazy. If you really analyze it though, because unless you are really kinky or freaky, it's gonna be hard to keister a phone. So for them to be getting in there, they have to be getting some type of assistance for somebody who's not an inmate. So
definitely.
And that's probably why they're not so withdrawn about letting it be known that they own on the yard. Just imagine you make $80,000 a year, and all of a sudden somebody tell you if you bring $10, $25 phones in here, I'll give you $800 for each of them.
Yeah.
You're gonna drop them phones in a corner somewhere.
The shit that trips me out is when I'll have a friend go to jail and I'll assume that means that they're getting sober for a while. And then I talk to them and I realize, oh no, they're off hella pills in jail.
Pills, heroin. Heroin, is, from my experience, is the dominant drug. The most widely used, of course, weed. But anything goes in prison. Yeah. Everything. If you get it, it's going to go at a premium, a times 10 premium.
Facts. Okay, so what's the first conversation with Suge like? How does it start unfolding?
I had told everybody, the news and everybody was prepping that Suge will be home in 90 days. He'll be home from prison in 30 days. I told everybody in my circle, I'm going to break my neck to meet that nigga within the first 30 days that he get out. Promise you I'm going to meet him within 30 days. However, when he actually paroled, I didn't put no effort into meeting him. It was kind of like I just was talking. However, the way the universe had it, before he was out 30 days, somebody called me and said, Suge want to meet you. And that was my homie Big Ant. And so when I got to, they happened to be at the Red Lobster waiting on me when I pulled up. Suge said, I heard a lot of good things about you. I said, all that shit true. Because of his reputation, I was trying to make sure I came with a lot of firmness. So they were sitting at a long table. He was at the head of it. I grabbed a chair and I put it right to his peripheral. And he was like, so he was eating. He was like, yeah, your homie told me you rap. I want to hear something. I'm like, now it's a gang of Pyrus. Buntry, rest in peace. Timmy Ruiz, the gang. It was an intimidating or a real serious, different looking scene. And I just rapped. I did 16 bars. He was like, yeah, we got Crooked Eye, we got Eastwood, then you next. And we gonna do this and we gonna do that. So there was a dude named Magic who had a label called Done Deal Records. Eastwood was signed to Magic. My big homie Ant was Magic's best friend. So Magic is small in stature. My homie was big, dark. They used to run together. Magic politicked in the game. He was a CEO. He used to be everywhere. I'm sure you've heard his name. But anyway, I had known Magic for some years. So after we had that first meeting at the restaurant, we went to see Suge a week later. That was a follow-up meeting. This is the first time I was able to be in the office alone with just me and Suge. And so we went into the office. He said, since we're gonna do this deal, I think it'd be fair if you let Magic and your homie Ant manage you. And I told him that because of things that me and Magic had went through in the past, I didn't want him managing me. And we went on. We never did an actual deal, but from that point on, for 2 years, I was considered a Suge's artist. Only production he put out during that period of time was the Dysfunctional Family soundtrack, Eddie Griffith stand-up movie. I participated on that, got the opportunity to not only write for the late, great, beautiful Lisa Left Eye Lopez, I also got the opportunity to work with a legend like Eddie Griffith, Corrupt, Crooked Eye. I named the guys that I had been dealing with in the game on the underground prior to meeting Suge, but once I got there, it went up to where I met shit, Sylvester Stallone, Cisco, Ray J. It was a whole nother level of celebrity. And it was a hell of an experience dealing with Suge. Because of what you were actually looking for to get famous and rich, I was disappointed initially. But now, after I've been in the game some time and been around, and I look back over what I actually did gain by dealing with Suge, I appreciate the experience a lot more.
Do you think Suge wanted you at that time as an artist, or was it partially because he wanted you as like muscle, or like he wanted you to be part of the squad on like a street type of level?
It's a dual,
right?
A dual desire. He actually, the reason why I was called is because while my homie Ant Magic was having a meeting with Suge, he described what type of artist that he was looking for, and he actually stated, "I don't want nobody. I gotta go to his hood and save him from his homies." That's what made my homie say, "Cuz, you need to meet my little homie. Tell him to come up here then." He all that. And that's when I got the call, Suge want to meet you. So that was a pretty good question. Definitely, if I had just showed up and being that nigga from my set, I don't know if I would have been able to saturate myself over there.